In recent years, electric transport has really been taking the world by storm and is sure to shape the way how we get around in the future. Personally, I'm interested in a variant of this type of transport known as the electric longboard. But when did these boards come into existence, and what do the people who ride them think of its future? First, we need to cover what an electric longboard actually is. In its simplest form, it's a longboard with some batteries and a motor strapped to it. There are many companies making these boards now, but I, along with many other people, have decided to make our own, since it's usually cheaper and more fun. Any e-board consists of 4 main parts. You have the battery pack made of the same cells found in Teslas and many other portable devices. There's the ESC, which acts as the brains of the system. There's one or more motors, which drives the wheels, and then there's the remote, which the rider holds to control the speed and the braking. In true DIY fashion, I'm fixing my board by screwing the box back together with some hinges and screws, and just like that it's ready to be ridden again. That wouldn't be possible if I'd bought a company-made board. But since when do these boards actually exist, and have they always been around?
So these boards came into existence a couple years ago. In fact, it was birthed all the way back in 1975 with a gasoline-powered equivalent called the moto board. It was banned pretty quickly though because of noise and pollution. The first actually electric longboard was made by a guy called Louis Finkel in the 1990s. His idea was then improved upon by some friends in 2006. And then in 2013, the first boosted board was unveiled. This company has been so influential that people call electric longboards boosted boards even if they aren't from boosted.
I wanted to get some opinions from other riders, and so I interviewed this guy to find out when and why he rides.
Yeah, mainly for fun. I mean, it could be quite serious depending on where you live. I think in the UK certainly it's not that viable of an option because of the rain situation, obviously. But it still helped me, get around quite a lot. It's bordering on a toy, but it's a serious toy. Like, it's got a lot of power and it's very useful, obviously. Like, you can actually get around with it and you can go far away places. Like, you can use it only for fun, but you can also use it like as an alternative means of transport, like a bike. So in that sense, it's not really a toy.
I then interviewed this guy who built this crazy e-board to see what he had to say.
Actually, the electric skateboard, it was kind of a dream when I was young. And yeah, if you like a car, you just 2 turns and all the speed is gone. Yeah. You start again, and then always is pushing. With the electric skateboard, sometimes it's like a video game. When you need to something is coming, you need to avoid it. Like a video game, it's like the same. People doesn't expect such amount of power, and doesn't expect such amount of brakes power also. I mean, I think people need to be trained a little bit before to press the gas.
He then took me to show me where he built his board.
Well, all my brakes come from here. Yeah, it's supposed to be the battery pack. Should be something like this, actually like this. And unbolted, and the electronics should be more or less like this, and the motors should be something like that. But yeah, now I'm rebuilding it again. It will be fast again soon. I don't have anything like a special or something. It's just the hammers or the screwdrivers, some saws.
And it's that last thing he said about not having any special tools that really excites me about the DIY e-board scene. Anyone with the time to learn and make mistakes is able to build their own very high-powered electric transport. And it's this that excites me so much about the future of these types of vehicles.
You know perfectly what is inside. If it's something that stops working, you can identify it easily. And if you buy the parts somewhere else and then you put it all together, you can have spare parts. I mean, if something is break, you can buy the same part in the same place. How you make it, you learn, and then you can identify what is the problem and fix it again.
But having such a high amount of power available at anyone's fingertips now brings certain safety concerns with it. Safety concerns that the law simply can't keep up with.
Yeah, I had an accident on my board, like the first hour of the uni. I was just like, let me whip it out and go for a ride. I literally just floored the accelerator and my motor didn't like that. I jumped off and I tried to keep running, but it didn't work. And then I went flying, got road rash. still hasn't healed. It's been like 3 months. Obviously you're standing on this plank of wood with 2 feet. What is good is that if you do have an accident, you can just jump off. If you're on a bike and you crash,
You can hit your own bike. And the rest is in your own. I mean, you need to be aware to where you're driving, the speed you get.
then the electrical part is obviously like, if anything goes wrong with that, like if you can't brake anymore, you're fucked. If your acceleration doesn't stop, you're fucked.
I mean, airbag, where are you gonna put the airbag?
So clearly these boards can be unsafe, but when treated right and treated carefully, they can be an important tool in one's toolbox of getting around. But will future cities have hundreds of these boards riding around?
Electric longboards, I don't see it progressing far enough to become like mainstream, because it's quite a niche thing. It takes quite a bit of skill as well. On the longboard, you only have the electrical brake or your foot, but your foot is quite dodgy at high speeds. So like if you could find a way to like mechanical brake on an electric longboard, then you might have something a bit more viable.
There's still many hurdles to overcome before these boards truly become widespread, especially since it's such a new frontier. But I believe that with e-boarders now taking on a responsible role in the use of these boards, people might well be riding these boards to work in the not so far future. There's exciting times to be had in the electric future.